Hey, welcome back, everybody. Jody, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. And yourself?
Well, I'm on boat 3 of COVID.
You got COVID?
I got COVID. I tested positive last night.
You've been hanging out with Beer Man?
Why? So you got COVID
He always seems to have it nowadays. I
every
mean,
time?
no. Let me retract my statement. He seems to have it when there's a match coming up.
Beer man arm wrestles?
But I tell you what, though, John Thompson, Uncle John, looking and feeling very strong. Yes.
Did you grip up with him?
Yes, the first match of the 242 left-hand class was Uncle John and myself.
And what happened?
Things didn't go my way. I got screwed on the fucking setup, and that's one of my flaws I got to work on. I think, my opinion, and people can agree, disagree, but I think that if I work on my setup more, then I'll be a lot better than I am.
Yeah, let's talk about that because you had a guy in that tournament that was what the
He's
hell
from
was he? What was he doing?
he was for those that saw the live feed, Washington State. He's from his name is Harry. He's from India, and apparently he's some kind of world champion there. Fine, no big deal. But in this, I guess, do you want to go right to my soapbox?
Sure,
There?
let's do it.
Okay, here we go, everybody. Welcome, Dan Woodley, Marco GT5, Jay Clean, Mr. Ward Drake. So here, soapbox. Where's Scott? I say soapbox. Scott comes out of the bushes, right? So here's my soapbox. How do people handle opponents who are totally a dick on the table? Now, before I get into this, you got to understand, we had a couple hearing impaired athletes there, right? So the ready goes are going to be silent. There's going to be no vocal, right? That way, one doesn't have advantage over the other, allegedly. So for those that don't know, if you have let me fix my screen. For those that don't know, if you have a hearing impaired opponent, instead of ready go, it goes like this. Right? Did y'all see that?
No.
Here, let me stand back. It's so it's thumbs up, which is the ready, and then the go is when you raise your hand like that. Now, the opponent I was pulling is not deaf, but because he wouldn't listen to the ref's commands, he thought he was deaf. And our second match, not a super match, but the second match, I already put him on the B side, so he comes back, and the ref just kind of does this, and I'm looking like that, and then I got pinned. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing? He false started. And so Dave Hicks was the head ref at this point, and there's another guy at the down ref. So they kind of walked off to the side, right, and discussed something. So I'm thinking, all right, we're going to restart this thing. No, winner. And I'm like going, are you serious? So I didn't hear – I talked to Dave Hicks after the event. He said, I thought the guy was deaf. I'm like, no, he's just being a total jerk at the table and wouldn't listen, to the point where we grip up and either he would just lock in like that and sit his elbow down, wouldn't release. So my hand is already like underneath, or he would just climb all over my thumb. So it's either you're on my thumb knuckle or he's already got me in like that. So I'm thinking, I'm getting upset. Never do I really get that fired up at an arm wrestling table, because I feel that if I have a clear mind, I can actually think more about what I'm doing. If I get so wrapped up and riled up about what my opponent's doing, then I kind of lose what I got going on upstairs, right? So, yeah, I've never actually yelled and like that intensely before, and he pissed me off. But then once I pinned him again for the finals in the matches, I just told him to fucking get the fuck off the stage. Not my character, but that's what it was. How do you handle that, Ryan?
You got to talk to the refs. You got to make sure they're like. It always drives me crazy when somebody's taking advantage at the table and the opponent just sits there and takes it and expects the referee to catch everything and fix everything. Right. You have to be vocal back to them, at least explaining what your issue is. Sometimes they'll listen, sometimes they won't. But you can't come back after and blame them for something they might not be seeing.
Yes, Jay Clayton and Old Jody made an appearance because, again, I'm trying to be very respectful and nice at the table. And I'm always like that. I'm not like a jerk or anything. But there are certain people sometimes that kind of get the best of you. And I was trying so hard to, keep my composure. But that guy, man, he was making my blood pressure rise. And I was like, dude. And if you look at the guy, was pretty fucking stacked. I mean, I'm surprised. Well, it was 221 and over, by the way. And I guess he made 242 in the opens, but damn, dude, I was a thick dude. So I guess he pulled 242s and he pulled 243 and over in the tournament. So, I want to say Tom Nelson got a hold of him and put him down. That was cool. But I don't think Uncle John put him. I can't remember because Uncle John pulled 4 classes. So,
and then Uncle John would have pulled. Did he win any of them? Because he would have got beat by Tom Nelson, I'm sure.
He took a second and a third, maybe.
Okay.
He did a lot better right hand than he expected, but that class was so stacked. Anywhere you have it, I mean, it was represented by 3 different countries, right? U.S. obviously, Canada's right up north, and then the group from Australia came there and was wrecking stuff. So I was like, okay. And then within that, represented by multiple states, we had some people from Ohio show up, South Carolina, and we're talking the corner of the Northwest in Washington, right? And then the California, Nevada, Idaho, Oregon, et cetera, Arizona, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, so it was an awesome event, and I'm glad I was a part of it. I wish some more people that should have been there were there, but it is what it is.
Yeah, for sure. Well, where do you want to head now? Because we put this out there as a review of Monster Factory. When I must have brain fog or something because we have a big event coming up on Saturday that I didn't even put on the thumbnail.
Can you go back and fix that or no?
Sure, I can fix it. Yeah. I'll change the thumbnail for when it goes live.
Yeah. So, and then like halfway through, because Washington State started at 11 a.m. right, and halfway through, the Monster Factory kicked on. Now that was a 2-day event, and they had a lot of matches, and I was pretty, I was watching it. It's the new and improved Monster Factory, and it's pretty nice looking. I wish it just felt like the one I was at earlier in the spring felt more electric than this one for some reason, and maybe because the atmosphere was a lot bigger. Sometimes you're in a big venue, then you get the same amount of electricity. It doesn't spark like if you're in a smaller venue with all that loudness and stuff. So maybe that might have been it, but I just didn't get the electric that I thought I was gonna get. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, and then there was a ton of matches that got canceled.
Yes, Corey. I mean, I was looking forward to Corey West, but that match got. And I think, it's sometimes I think you have to pull a little bit, but I know sometimes injuries happen. But sometimes when you get those big names and people look forward to, and the injury happens, it kind of lets the wind out of the sails. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you have the list of our predictions that we made?
I had them here, but my wife did some cleaning yesterday, and I think she might have tossed it. So shit.
Well, let's go through a few of them then. Let's we had basically the main card ones. We had Dallas versus Brandon.
If you watch that match,
did they pull left-handed?
I want to say both.
Yeah,
but there was a match.
I know they pulled the right arm match. Like there was a lot of watching of arm wrestling to get through all that.
There was a match where I should probably start calling Brendan Elsesser Gumby. The way he had his arm, I was like, dude, when you see somebody's arm in a certain spot and it starts to discolor, it's time to fucking look away from the screen.
Yep. Agreed.
I'm not saying he broke anything, but you know how sometimes you get in that weird position and all of a sudden the joint or the pivot part kind of changes color.
Yeah,
man, I can't continue to watch that. So, but yeah, it's woo, man. I don't know. I can't do that. But rest assured, for what it was pretty good. There's only one title because of the injury. There's only one title match, and that was Jake Houston and Dustin Hyatt, and Dustin ended up winning that. So, congrats to him.
Convincingly,
yes.
Yeah, that was good.
Which is funny because Jake Houston just came off a demolishing when he beat up Kevin Palco. And I thought Palco and Dustin Hyatt were going to meet at some point. But, you know, Jake Houston was a common denominator between both. And now that's out the way. What's left for Dustin Hyatt at the defending his Monster Factory title. So,
yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's left.
We'll find out soon, right? I mean, already people want to know, hey, I would love to be on Monster Card 6 and that kind of stuff. And, you know, that's fine. And by the way, kudos to Sean Hancock. He was one. I mean, you got two awesome refs. You know, Luke Polster was the head ref. Sean Hancock was the down ref in some parts. And he also had a match against David Till out of Idaho. Won convincingly 3-0. And I told David, because I have history with Sean, that him and I pulled 3 years ago. And you got to know, if you know Sean, he wants to pull all in the straps. Fine, no problem, whatever, you know. That's what he does. And David, being relatively new, was like, you know, fine, whatever. They pulled, didn't work his way. He got screwed up on a setup. Boy, the topic should have been setups, because his setup was not great. My setup for Uncle John was not great. And now all of a sudden I think, hey, Derek's in the house, along with Jay Clean, Dan Woody, the preacher's in the house. And Sean made a reference about him and I running it back. I tell you what, if he's going to ask me, oh, you want to go in the straps? I'm like, sure. You want to go in the rest script while you at it too?
He'll probably say yes.
It eliminates all the other stuff. So, but yeah.
It depends. It depends.
Yeah.
It really depends, because there was a lot of stuff that guys were getting away with as far as movement and referee's grip. And you shouldn't have to. And you know what? Luke is a friend of mine. I don't want to be critical of him, but you shouldn't have to say, don't move, don't move, don't move 75 times during a setup. If you have to tell them that, they're moving. That's when a foul comes.
Mm-hmm.
You tell them that once. Any movement at this point that I do not close or move you myself is a foul.
Not to mention, here's the thing, and this is I'm not throwing no shade on Sean Hancock. I'm not throwing no shade on Luke Polster, but I got to ask, if you ever seen Sean Hancock set up, he squats. Sometimes his whole knee is on the ground, you know, going like that. And at something, you're in a rest grip, and then you stand up. I mean, that's moving, isn't it?
That's while the strap's getting put on. That's a technique. You can get an advantage in the strap by doing that.
But you're in the ref's grip, though.
They don't set the ref's grip until the strap is on.
All right.
So they basically put your elbow at the back of the pad. You should not be in an illegal position, though, while the strap's being put on. If you can't do it in the match, why are you doing it while the strap is going on?
That must be a rule that I guess you can do, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, setups for everything, everybody. And I'm still trying to cross over because there's times where I'm so worried about my hand being blown up before the match that I might just say, fuck it. Let's just go ahead and I don't care. Let's just go ahead and say go. And that's my own flaw. So against Mr. Uncle John. So here's, Jay Clean. Do you think your match could have gone, the other way if I had a solid setup? I think so. Does John have a bigger hand than me? Yes. Is he stronger than me? Last year, no. This year, probably. But I still got a better hit than him. So I think if my setup was here, rather than there, and it makes a difference between here, I'm screwed. Here, I'm good. I didn't rotate my hand that much.
Carl Stanley's in the chat.
Carl, what's up, my man?
Who looked very undersized against Ben LeClaire. Ben LeClaire, what is he? He's got to be over 400 pounds.
Does he angle you, Ryan?
Usually when you talk about somebody being out angled, you talk about musculature. I don't
I'm talking about like girth.
I don't know, man. Like I pulled with him a long time ago in Vegas, but he was brand new. I don't know.
6'7", 420.
420. So yeah, he's a big guy. He's quite a bit quite a bit taller, quite a bit heavier than I am. He's got 75 pounds on me right now.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, and kudos to Carl Stanley, because somebody at that stature of 6'7", 420, I wouldn't know where to begin. I don't know where to begin. How the hell would you even break that down? Like, okay, what the hell am I attacking? Anybody who's 6'7", you know they're gonna have a longer arm than you. That's just the nature of the beast, right?
Yeah.
So
now I wanna touch on this one match because I think you probably see these guys collide at some point. Blake versus BJ. Talk about judging don't judge a book by its cover, because Blake's a big, impressive looking guy, and someone that doesn't know arm wrestling might think that match was going to be a whole lot better than it was. But BJ just does his thing, and he comes out still undefeated in Monster Factory.
Hey,
Rebecca and Michael were like, "Who is he supposed to pull? We can't remember. It was me. Damn it."
So did you have interest in that match because maybe the next one goes, you might be going head to head with him?
With BJ?
Yeah.
Yeah, set it up again. But I mean, I've actually been offered that match. A couple other people have offered me that match at other promotions.
Woo.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Well, congrats on that one, man. And like I said, how do you feel now? Because I know you're taking some time off. You're taking what we call in the WWE a sabbatical into a Robbie Burnett. But I have to admit, to sit there and have you watch that match, I know you have some interest in that, yes?
Yeah, for sure. BJ would be right-handed, and my right's feeling pretty good.
Yeah, good.
I don't think BJ wants a left-handed match with me.
He does?
I don't think so.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, I'd pull Ben LeClaire left-handed. Fareed. Well, there's one. Yeah, I'd pull Fareed lefty. But I'll tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to get all juiced up out of my brain to go over to East versus West. So I won't be doing that.
Even people want to see you at the Monster Factory. I'm telling you, man, you're getting some love.
Yeah, no, I'd like to go down there.
Have you pulled Mirta before?
I don't think so.
Because I know they're trying to get him back down there. And I just figured, hey, give my man Espey a shot against Mirta. Yep. Why not?
Why not?
So
let's go to the main event. Well, there's 3 matches. Well, you had Brandon versus Dallas. We kind of covered that a little bit on the other arm, but we had Paul Lynn versus Artem.
Yeah. Even Artem, I think he stated that he was concerned, even though it was Paul Lynn's left. He was concerned. And you got to realize that Paul Lynn, no matter what hand you use, that guy's going to be a threat no matter what. But we know, I mean, just because he's an overall workout animal, workout machine, but we know when it's the big daddy, the big advance, he's going to the right hand. This was left hand, which favors Artem. But still, you couldn't be sure, you couldn't be clear that, if it's left hand, Artem has it. Not necessarily, right? However.
Well, I'm glad I didn't go this time because I would have been sick down there.
Yeah, that would have been messed up.
Yeah. It's but Artem, man, he where do you put him? Who do you put him against?
And here's the thing. Artem's been fucking just traveling everywhere, pulling everybody. That is the guy that's putting in work. Has he pulled John Tyrion yet? I want to say he did already.
Yeah, and he's quite a bit bigger than him now.
Isn't everybody bigger nowadays, though?
Yeah.
I don't even know what weight class he pulls anymore because he's just bouncing around. And
you should throw Artem and Uncle John together.
yeah, might as well.
Haven't they had a match in the past?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Jay Clean says he thinks he handles John with ease. I don't know about this new Uncle John. I don't know.
You got to remember. No, not I don't remember. Not 198. He might cut down to it. I don't think he's He might be like 210 maybe. Here's the thing. For people with Uncle John, you got to remember Uncle John basically is a super heavy because he has a super heavyweight hand, right? And now he cut all the way down to 198.
Oh, yeah.
And then he got the 220. Now he had to cut to get to 242 for this event this past Saturday. So he pulled that in supers. So
Uncle John must outweigh Artem by many, many pounds. Probably 40 pounds, I'd say.
Oh, Jay Clean was talking Terry.
Yeah, he's talking Tyrion, yeah.
Well, heck, I mean, if they had a catch weight and they met somewhere.
Well, I don't think Artem would even ask for that. I think he would just pull him.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's just something because didn't Artem pull like Pavlo at the Monster Factory back in the spring? It's like, I mean, he's just challenging everybody. But again, I mean, this is the one thing I like about Artem. Well, there's a couple things, but one of the things I like about Artem is that he's not afraid of competition.
Yeah.
He is not afraid of competition. That guy would be like, yeah, I'll pull him. I'll do it. It's not going to damage him one way or the other. You know what I mean? So, good for him.
What are the rest of these matches do you want to touch on before we move past it?
We touched on Dustin Hyatt. We touched on Carl Stanley. That Brent Rockers, though, I'm telling you. That was Friday. I think that was the main event on Friday. Yeah. I'm telling you, man. Big time stuff. Big time stuff. I don't know. It just seemed like it lost him his luster. And I'm not blaming anybody for it. It just happened that everybody was glued to the main event. It just didn't happen. And so I think kind of the sales wind came out of the sales on that one. So, but, I mean, stuff happens,
Yeah.
We get it. But you don't want to go into a match not 100%. You know what I mean? So Benji Max in the house, Clerks, World's Strongest Man. Yeah, we're all in the house because guess what? Even though the thumbnail didn't talk about it, we all know what is this weekend? King of the Table, right?
Yep.
And I'm finally glad it's here. I've never heard so much freaking, build up to where it's like, oh my God, let's go already. You know what I mean?
Where do you want to begin on this one?
You got the match list?
I have the poster. So I don't have a match list. That's one of my biggest. I'm going to go to the King of the Core Sports website because one of the biggest things I always criticize all these big organizations for is they have posters with no details attached to them. And, for the hardcores, they want to see the details. What arm is it?
I wish they did more promoting.
Who are some of these people? Because we don't know the names of every single arm wrestler on this card. We just don't.
I know Sarah McKinney, and I'm rooting for her because she was one of the ladies that won her weight class at the East vs. West finals. And I thought she was going to get a match. There were two ladies that won. There were two weight classes. She won the lighter one, I think, of the two classes, right? Elizabeth won the heavyweight, and she went to East vs. West, and things didn't work out for her. So I thought Sarah, and I talked to her from time to time. I'm like, when is your match? She was like, I don't know. And then she says, well, it's not going to be East vs. West. I'm like, really? So it's going to be King of the Table. So she'll be there. I think she flew out today, matter of fact.
Yeah.
So
I got the match list now. We got Sarah versus Nisa.
And her top roll, Nisa, is fucking vicious. Her top roll is vicious. Well, I know who might win, but I also know who I'm true and cheering for.
Well, who would you go with? Who are you? I know who you're cheering for. Who you think's going to win?
How you pronounce her name? Nisa?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess.
I'm going for Sarah, but that's who I think will win will be Nisa, but I'm rooting for Sarah all the way.
Well, I think Nisa's gonna win.
But here's the thing, though. We'll get to that later because my favorite match on the card is not the title match.
Oh, who is it?
We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Okay.
What else is on there? What else is on there?
Well, we got Sergey Kalanchenko versus Arif Artem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you think that match goes?
Well, I mean, I think Arif is going to win the match. I don't even know what arm it is, but he's good both arms, and he is a super heavyweight, whereas Kalanchenko, is kind of moving up to into the heavier weights. But it's a solid match. I don't know who I would put money on if I had to. But I'm going to go with Turkey to win the second match here as well.
Just to be different, I'll go Sergey.
Okay. Oh, Jay Clean says Arif will handle him 6-0.
Hey.
And this is all 6-0 matches on King of the Table.
What have we learned? We learned that my predictions are horrible.
Clerks 93. I don't agree with you. I think everyone's dipping a toe in the water at this event.
Do you think? Don't want to start speculating, but do you think that to be on that kind of stage, to be on that kind of promotion, one has to do that?
No, they don't have to, but you have to be very clear with the matchmakers of what you are and are not doing. Otherwise, we ran into this a lot in the past 20 years where you have
Krassy's not. There you go.
Yeah. Where you have these guys that were competitive, so they make the match, and all of a sudden one guy is completely gassed up and the other one's not, and it's one-sided. You used to see that a lot more often.
Mm-hmm.
But the promoters need to start investigating what are you doing to prepare? Where are you at? Because it's going to impact the matchmaking. It doesn't really matter who you put on the card and the undercard if they have a known name and they are matched up with somebody they're competitive with.
Right.
They can still be on there. It's about making good matches with recognizable names. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
Lars Rebarkin is next, and he's taking on Valera. I'm not even going to attempt that last name. I don't know who this guy is.
I don't know. So I'm going to go Lars. Flop wrist. Bam.
Yeah, probably.
How you pronounce that dude's name? How you spell it? That way.
Valera. Valera is the guy's name. I know I've seen him before. Just don't ask me to pronounce it.
We'll just say Valera. There you go.
Yeah. And then we got this one's interesting.
Leonidas. Before we go, Clifton Erickson says, "You hear what Nick Penner got from my tournament Saturday?" No, Clifton.
I did. Go through this, like $1,500 cash for driving down to North Dakota.
What?
Yeah, big tournament, and Nick went down there and won a whole bunch of money.
Damn. Well, congrats, man.
Hey, Nick Penner is awesome.
Mac, everyone wants to be a flopper now. Well, honestly, it's something you don't train against on a regular basis. I think everybody has a flop in them at some point. I mean, I know I do, but that's more of a, hey, code red, sound the alarms, break glass in case of emergency type move.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that me.
Shouldn't be your A move if you have anything else at your disposal.
Right.
Now, ready?
Did you say Lars is going to win?
No, I'm going to go with the other guy. I don't think Lars has fully come back to where he was at before.
Well, he's also not as thick either.
Yeah. Now, I know what your favorite match likely is, but I don't think it's this one. Is it Larry Wheels? I don't think it's Larry Wheels.
Nope.
Larry Wheels versus Leonidas. I think you're going to see Larry Wheels win a match.
Well,
I mean, it's good. It's solid.
Yeah.
They've matched him up well. They haven't picked, somebody that's probably out of his league.
When he first got into this, they threw him to the wolves.
Yeah.
Kind of to a certain degree, because at the time, I don't think Brendan Allen was like, the guy. And I don't think KOTT was the guy. It was just, hey, let's see what happens here. And I thought that, maybe if Larry did some tournaments, then maybe, he can get some wins and kind of figure this thing out. So
Yeah.
Jay Clean doesn't care about the match. Depends on where he's at.
Does not care.
Just hope he doesn't break anybody's arm in the process.
I mean, do you ever see Larry being an elite arm wrestler? Now, you can. Here's the deal: you can find a lot of guys that are not enhanced that would be good matchups for Larry Wheels. A lot of guys.
I'm going to say no. He can't be. He cannot be an elite because he has too much stuff going on. To be an elite athlete, you have to be 110% locked into that particular sport. He's not. He has other stuff going on, bodybuilding, and I think he was on the Olympia stage and like something. But you can't be an elite arm wrestler if you're also constantly doing other stuff, because then it takes away from your training.
Yeah. National level, yes. World class, no. Yeah, I agree, Jay Clean.
Like, you can't be sitting up there, I'm going to go ahead and hop on the Olympia stage and try to make, top 3 when I'm fucking playing rugby. That doesn't make sense,
And now we're going to talk about Jody's favorite match. Hermes Gasparini versus Vitaly Laletin. I knew it was that one.
Yes. This match intrigues me more than the main event. And I'm here to tell you.
I honestly don't find the main event all that intriguing. I would like to be shocked by it, but we'll get to that in a sec.
Yeah, I like this match. So is this like to see who's number 3?
Well, who's number 1? Is he, though? How long do you let him hold that without pulling?
My opinion, you want to know my opinion?
Yeah.
The naysayers, I say Devin is number 1. I say he's number 1. Levon. Oh, I'm sorry. How about this? Can I be fair? Devin and Levon are 1A and 1B. I
don't think you can even put, how long do you let Levon maintain a ranking without arm wrestling?
Well, here's the deal. Even before he got hurt, he wrestled once a year?
How long has it been since he pulled it? Chat, help me out. How long has it been since Levon arm wrestled?
Well, his last match was Gasparini. So how long was that? That I do know when his last match. Matter of fact, since this whole thing happened, he's only pulled what? Devin, Gasparini, and I thought it was somebody else. That was it.
So if Levon comes back, let's face it, he's going against whoever is number 1. It's whoever is number 1 at the time Levon will face. He should be taken and put to the side.
Yeah, how about this? If we're talking like MMA style, then there's an interim belt hanging around there somewhere, right? Right?
Well, I mean, you got to put Devin as the interim number 1. You have to. How do you not?
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with that, because while Levon's nursing his injury, and before that, pulling once a year, Devin's been going to this promotion, that promotion, getting it done. He's been going to Arm Wars. He's been going to King of Table. He's been going to East vs. West. So there you have it. You know what I mean? So meanwhile, Devin's pulling and competing. Levon's like on the shelf. And from what I hear, this is from what I hear, he probably won't be ready till what, April of next year?
Here's another interesting question for you, Jody.
Yeah.
How do you rank Dennis based on his last two performances? He beats John, who's not in his weight class, and he loses handily to Devin.
Where do you put Jerry KOTT then?
Well, Jerry KOTT at least has more than one sample in that class.
Since this whole thing started, he's only had 3 minutes.
In the top 5. But I mean, that's a match I would like to see. I would love to see Dennis versus Jerry KOTT.
Yeah,
love
I think
to see that match.
I think Jerry would crush Alexei.
Oh yeah,
I think, yeah, I would see that. I know at some point they have to run that back with, Hermes and Jerry, whether whoever gets on the same, wave wire. But yeah, it would love to see that, because if Devin can sit there and just hit 17,000 times, Jerry can press 17,000 times. If Dennis is going to sit there and hold and try to do this, if Dennis happened to be offensive, then it might be a problem. But he's at a point now where he's not offensive,
Yeah.
But it's just weird. But I think this match here. Sorry, guys, we kind of got off topic. This match between Hermes and Vitaly is the winner of this will probably be the number 3 spot.
Well, I'm going to say that the number 2 spot, because I'm putting Levon off to the side.
Right.
Man, you know what? I want Vitaly to win so that we can see a different challenger for Devin.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not 100% sure he will. I'm like 60% that Hermes will win.
I'm going to pick quality. Quality.
You're going to pick the guy that puts pineapple on his pizza?
Quality. Nothing against Vitaly, but it's like we're in a good spot now. When Alexei came back to the sport, Dennis came back, the hype was there, and then the wheels kind of fell off because, okay, Dennis beat John 6-0. Yeah, you kind of like, all right. Before that, Levon gets hurt, and I was hoping for a Dennis Levon thing. Then, Alexei comes back and gets blasted by John. I'm thinking, all right. So it kind of went out with a whimper. Devin beats Hermes, and Hermes was fucking done mentally before the fucking match started. So it's kind of like, okay, everybody's kind of falling, and Devin's kind of standing there going, yay, and Jerry, we don't know when Jerry's coming back. He's not injured, but we just don't know when he's going to get a call. Because now it's like, okay, can this version of Jerry beat this version of Devin? I don't know. There's a couple obstacles before we'll see that match, in my opinion. So there's that. But like I said, I'm going for Hermes.
You know what? I'll go Vitaly just to be a little bit different here, because I think Hermes is the guy, but I'll go with Vitaly. I'll take my risk and bet on who I think is the underdog.
But I do understand your logic.
Yeah.
Somebody fresh, somebody new for Devin. I totally understand that, because then you'll get somebody who's just as tall, if not taller, than Devin.
That's what makes it interesting to me. The frame difference, like this will be one of the first times you possibly could see Devin against a guy that is bigger, taller in stature, much longer arm. I just find it a lot more interesting. I still think Devin is going to win. I still think he'll win the match, but I want to see a different look. The rematch thing, if it's compelling, like Hermes would have to go in and just blast some guys for me to find that interesting again.
Yeah, because right now it's getting to a point now where Devin is kind of running out of opponents.
Well, I mean, we had high hopes for Zaur, but I mean, the guy can't pull more than one match. Like, he's a tournament guy. He's not a super match guy right now.
So does that mean Devin gets to like drop weight and go down a weight class and pull some of those guys too, or what?
I mean, he wins the match on Saturday. He can pretty much do whatever he wants. I mean, who's going to say no to him? I mean, he can pick his shot.
Because I'm telling you, because there was some talk, if Devin got down to 105 kg, could he pull Todd Hutchins? And Todd was like, I'll take that match. Give him 4 to 6 months to train. He'll take it.
Oh, man, it seems so weird to me that Devin would even entertain that.
I'm only saying that because before Todd won that belt, he was talking about doing that because he wanted to pull Ungarbayev. But now he doesn't have the belt no more. Todd does. A little bit different.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'd watch it. Of course I would. It's a different look. And you think, you know, it's counterintuitive. He's got to Devin's doesn't carry a lot of excess bad weight. So he's got to peel off some muscle mass to get down there.
And like I said, when you lose that much weight, strength is going to, be sacrificed too. So that's just the way it is,
It's not like Devin's 50 pounds overweight and can just drop some weight and get down there. Like, it would be a weird task.
Right.
Yeah. And then how does it impact you when you want to go back up?
You just eat, I guess.
Brian Gabriel says Engen said he won't put Devin against Todd. Probably because it would be West versus West.
Yep.
Or maybe they just don't want to, maybe he doesn't want to, because it ties up every other division that Devin is the champion in.
Yeah, it kind of locks everything up. Then it's like, okay, fine. But my argument is that, is it me or is it starting to look like WAL? Where you start regurgitating matches?
Only if we go down that path. Then yes. But I mean, if there's nothing interesting for Devin, because in the heavier classes, like, there has to be something interesting. And I hope nobody takes this the wrong way. But Svetkov versus Devin, I don't find, like, there's that glimmer of hope that maybe he can tie up Devin. I don't think it's realistic. Now, the one rematch I would like to see at some point is Gennady. But where the hell?
Because all the other ones they're not intriguing. I'm sorry, but again, and I know Devin will probably do something else, but in another promotion. But we're almost to a point where, okay, Devin's at the top of the hill. He's probably looking down, going, okay, you guys down there, figure it out, and then let me know when you guys are ready. Because that's how Levon was. Remember that? He was on top of the mountain. You guys figure it out, and then I'll be waiting. You know what I mean? Because now that Devin's in the supers and now the heavyweight division, and I don't know how many classes they got now, but, when was the last time we saw? I mean, I'm starting to look at some of these other matches. Like, I want to see Prudnik again.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to see Krasny again. Are we ever going to see, El Celso again? Fucking, I mean, seriously, is RBJ going to ever get called back? I mean, because now we're kind of getting away from that and focusing more on the heavyweights, but at the same time, it's the same guys now.
Well, so it's kind of like Jay Clean's convincing me of something here. He's talking about,
Are you talking about right-handed?
Yeah.
Because I think Devin kind of busted his ass left-handed at the Armwrestling event.
Yeah, Georgie's not that good left-handed, relatively speaking. He's world class, but I don't think he's like super elite left-handed.
Okay, I mean, like I said, that'd be the only hope of that being a somewhat intriguing match, because I'm like, man, what the hell? You know, like, and I hope people don't take, you know, this the wrong way, but yes, they pulled at arm wars, and I like the way Neil kind of built that up. Okay, this is what happened with the left. What's going to happen with the right? I like the way Neil did that from a timing standpoint, but at the same time, it's like you hear Georgie Laird again. It's like, oh, okay.
What do you think of this comment? I mean, sooner or later, Devin will be out of the top 5. You know, I'm not. Everybody knows Devin and I are not the biggest fans of each other, right? However, I gotta say, yes. I mean, time will catch up to everybody, but I don't know if those guys are surpassing him.
The only rematch I want to see it's not even Gennady at this point, although there's a common denominator because there's question mark number 1. But it's like, what about the Devin Levon rematch? Because if those guys meet up again, it's like, fuck it. Devin's the guy.
I can tell you right now, Jody, based on how Levon looked, just his physical appearance the last time we saw him at East versus West.
Oh, he looked like he came from fucking eating donuts, man. Like,
I don't think he's 6 months away if he can train full bore right now.
Man, because I saw him and there was all kind of still frames and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, he was looking kind of dumpy, but when you're fucking 4 bills, I'm like, you know, not everybody can pull off Dennis weighing that much and still look like a fucking athlete. Not everybody can do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, the chat's saying that Levon will want to face the winner of this match. I agree. And it'll be next year, sometime in 2024. But do you really think Devin will wait? Like, I don't think, like, let's say Levon is ready. Let's say October at the earliest. That's just speculation.
Next year?
Yeah.
Here, I'll tell you what. I got some Canadian money still sitting in my dresser drawer from Manitoba. I will bet you Canadian money.
How did you go home with Canadian money?
I never cashed it. I kept it.
Who gave it to you?
No, it was the money I took with me. I transferred it over from American to Canadian. So it's a souvenir. And I still got money from England too in the Ziploc. So you'll probably see a rematch between Devin and Gennady before you see Devin and Levon. If Levon's going to wait then, I don't foresee Devin waiting that long to pull.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's what I'm saying. Like, Levon is way up towards the end of the year. And I think that Devin will, you know, that will be his goal. I just don't think it will be his only goal. I don't think he's going to wait.
No, but you hope between now and then he doesn't trip up somewhere.
Yeah, well, Gennady's the guy, but I mean, he's not ready either.
Because it's almost like when Devin lost to Gennady, it was like, okay, now Devin has to pull 2 more matches to get back word to get that momentum back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
So Jay Clean says Gennady is probably behind Levon in recovery.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. You know, there's one person out there, and truth be told, he's training again, that might throw a monkey wrench in this whole thing. Not so much right at Devin, not beeline to Devin, but once he gets a couple matches in, it will be interesting to see him. Can you guess who that might be?
I don't know.
It's a what if, everybody. In the chat, what if? Give me some names and I'll tell you who I'm talking about. But yeah, I mean, I think, and that's the thing with the injuries. And if you look at it, though, all
Monster
these
Michael Todd.
No. With all these training methods and people doing this and doing that, and people are getting hurt, it's like,
is it this one?
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Yes. Rumor has it that he's training. And before he decided to take a sabbatical, you know, he was getting up there. And Ryan, you know firsthand how strong this guy is. And if he happened to just jump in and say, F it, you know, I'm back, whatever. You Yeah, if Alex Kardecka decided to jump in there and mix it up, that'd be cool. But when are we going to see Corey West back up there again? You know, it's always like
Corey West is trying to be a model now.
Huh?
He's down to 350 pounds.
That's still big, though.
Not for Corey. It's not.
That's like a marathon runner?
Yeah, he's doing triathlons now.
But do you see what I'm saying, though? We're kind of forgetting some of the other guys, though. I mean, there are so many guys, and that's the thing about inviting so many people to these events, because you kind of say, oh, I forgot about that guy. You want to see Morozov again. How would Morozov fare against Jerry Catterate? You want to see those guys again, Yes, Benji Mack. Corey, and if Corey versus Devin at Arm Wars. So Devin's going to be busy no matter what. Oh, and by the way, because it was announced, did you know Krasimir and John Brzezinski?
That's a good match.
Just so y'all know, because it was announced on the fix.
Let me check this out. We actually announced the Corey versus Devin match last week. Yeah. After Neil Pickup talked about it.
Yeah, I mean, the only time I mention stuff like that is if Neil already says it. So if you hear stuff about maybe Uncle John taking on Ron Bath left-handed, that might be a possibility there,
Yeah.
Obviously, things didn't go my way work-wise, so I will not be there. So I'm kind of depressed about that, but I got other stuff in store, so that's how that goes. So,
well, we.
Oh, by the way, I'm picking Devin to win.
You know what? I'm going to watch it. I'm going to be watching it and be intrigued until, well, hopefully beyond match number 1.
Yeah.
Hopefully beyond match number 1.
Well, and I just want it to be a close match. This is a title match, right?
Yeah, sure. I don't know. I guess so.
Is he like the? Well, wait, hold on, because
I thought Devin was the super heavyweight, or Levon was the super heavyweight champ at King of the Table.
Yeah, you're right. So will this be the number 1 contender for Levon at the King? Because you got the East versus West title, King of the Table title, which King of the Table has all but 10 athletes there anyway. But at the same time, it's like, well, hell, I don't even know. I want it to be competitive.
It will. I think it will.
But there is some what ifs.
Yeah.
There's some what ifs. Uh-oh, why is my laptop being funny?
Do you think Vitaly could beat Devin now?
Hold on, my laptop's going dead. Hold on for a sec. Go ahead, guys.
All right, I'll continue while you're plugging in your computer. Victor, no, I don't. I think it's competitive and an intriguing match. I would still pick Devin to win. This better. One here, Devin puts a few months. I hope Devin puts a few months training into his left. Well, let's be honest. What Devin does when he is not training his left is more than most people do when they are training. Would you agree with that, Jody? He's pulling all the time with it. He's just not doing those few lifts that he does outside of actual table time.
I wish, in a perfect world, I wish I would love to pull twice a week, honestly.
I can't.
I used to, but it's not there anymore. Hopefully I can get back to that. There's going to be some new challenges for me come 2024 where I can actually do that. I know some of my teammates a couple of them are on board, so we can go ahead and make that happen, because we're going to fucking, where I'm going with this is that, and I guess it goes back to like, oh, well, is it weights? Is it table time? What's more important? It all depends on the person. You can be Todd Zilla, where he's just constantly, he'll train like, on the table like once or twice a month, but does all his stuff in his area,
Yeah. Jay, I agree with you. It's right up there.
First of all, who said Devin doesn't train his left?
Devin says that.
Do you really believe that?
Nobody believes. Well, so I guess some people believe it if Devin says it.
It's like when fucking Devin was saying, "Oh, I'm not going to train for Georgie, this, that, and the other." I'm like, you know, it's almost like if someone were to say, "Hey, Devin, man, you look too strong. How are you getting ready for your upcoming match? Jump roping?" And motherfuckers would believe it.
Yep.
You know? I mean, let's be real. He's gone to East vs. West, taking out people. He's gone to hell, was that left-handed match versus Krudnick? That was right-handed, wasn't it?
I don't know.
But he's gone to arm wars and pulled left because he knows, Mill knows that he'd murder everybody right-handed at arm wars. So you try to balance the playing field and make him pull left, and he still wins. You know?
Yeah.
But that's just what it is. So, I mean, for people to say, "Oh, he doesn't train his left," I mean, we all train. It's just some people's other arm is better than that arm. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So, I can tell you right now, Ryan Espey doesn't mean he just doesn't train his right arm. It's just his go-to is his left. That's just the way it is, folks. You know? So, it's nothing that you haven't heard before. It's not like you go in the gym and then just you cut one half of your body and go, "We ain't doing nothing here today." You can't bench press fucking with one arm. You ain't doing rows with one arm.
Well, I could argue with you because I have an old training partner that broke his one arm and did all that stuff with one arm.
Yeah, but you're not actually going out to do that though, purposely.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's what it is, So, woo, yes.
However, Jody, I will say that I do believe Devin doesn't do his gym lifts with his left arm.
No.
But he does practice with it.
Ooh, can you highlight Victor's comment?
Victor, we have thought that. We've thought that in the past. But I mean, at Devin, I think he's 48 years old, is probably, well, I can almost guarantee you he's better now than he's ever been.
I think it's going to get to a point where he reaches a ceiling. Like it's going to get to a point, and when I say he's going to reach a ceiling, it's more of you're going to run out of opponents for him. That's what I mean by that. And I'm just being honest, just dead honest. Line him up, he'll knock him down. That's just where we are right now. To the point where even some of the other matches are more intriguing than his match because he's just so dominant,
Yeah.
Because it's weird because the vibe and the feeling I get is that, and I'm going to feel horrible for saying this, people, so bear with me. When Levon was on top, it's almost like you wanted to see him lose because it was fresh faces, But now Devin's ascending to the top. Deep down, he's probably not going to lose.
Yeah.
It's a different feeling. Like I said, I don't know if I even said that right, but that's just how I feel. You know what I mean? I mean,
Victor.
Because I mean, there's always that question mark. If Devin wins this Georgie thing, he's going to sit there. It's like the only person I want is Levon. Maybe Georgie when he's healthy, but that's it. I don't think he would entertain Jerry at this point. Maybe because he just likes to compete. But now, then again, if you play the what if game, Jerry, he beat Georgie. Jerry, he beat Gennady. But then you got Ermi's like, "Hey, I already beat you. Get to the back of the line." I would love to see Jerry versus, Vitaly maybe. See how that goes.
Yeah. Well, Vitaly would be an intriguing match. I think, to the point, I think Victor's asking if we could see this going on for 5 years with Devin. Probably. beyond 5 years is pushing it a little bit. I think he'll probably take less rematches and keep on checking off the guys at the top. So at some point, it's going to be one or two guys left, and if they don't come back, you might not see them.
Well, here, let me put a spin on that. Devin's our age, right?
Yeah, he's older. Well, he's older than me, just a little bit.
So you look at it like this, and some people might say, well, John can do it, Devin can do it. John took time off in between the comeback, right? He's came back. Okay, I'm pulling now. Takes time off, I'll come back. Where Devin just kept going and going and going nonstop. Where, okay, is Father Time going to say, hey, what's up? You know?
Yeah, but you got to look at some of the, I know Devin's doing some of the things to an extreme level, but look at John. He's almost 60. Remember when we were talking about this, Jody? John Berzink is only 1 year younger than Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Yeah.
You ever think about how Michael Jordan would do if he was in the NBA right now?
Yeah, exactly.
Yet John can somehow still compete at an elite level.
Right.
Yeah, I think he's got time left. I don't think Father Time is going to catch up with him just yet. He's genetically gifted and he is focused.
I do want to comment on Dan Woodley's comment. He says, Devin is addicted to arm wrestling, unlike John. Well, I'll say this. Yes, John's shoulder is so fucking bad. There's that. There's one scenario. But the other one, like, John doesn't need to prove anything. Here's a question. Do you think Devin is still trying to prove the naysayers that, hey, I got about 2 more matches and then I will be the greatest of all time? Do you think he's chasing that? Because John did it in a sense of what makes the GOAT the greatest of all time, right? In my opinion, as we say, at 10:02 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on December 5th, I'm going to say this. Greatest of all time is 1A and 1B. But they were done differently. Where Devin has done it because it was more one-on-one based, right? John did it when he was at a lighter weight smacking monsters in their prime. And he did it at tournaments. It was one after another, where all you got to do is go back. I mean, what they say is like 20 some odd years that he didn't lose a match. There's that. Devin can't say that. There was times where those Nemirovs, those Lotties, when they were like, fucking, they had some killers and John was whacking them.
I can't disagree with you. I mean, 1A, 1B is definitely arguable because Devin's resume is not over yet.
Right. It's not. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like
John might not beat like the world elite guys anymore, but Devin is.
Mm-hmm.
Like John will still get the odd win up there. Like he's competitive in that class. But then you go back and you think about John's body of work when he was like a smaller guy jumping into the super heavyweight class just to prove something,
Right. But like I said, it's just, they did it in different eras too.
Yeah.
We didn't have these super matches now that Devin's flourishing in. We didn't have that back then.
Yeah.
A lot more were tournament based. And if he did, it was like Igor's PAL. And then John was beating the likes of Pushkar and Samarenko and, who's the guy from Ukraine? The top row dude. What's his name again? Damn it. Forgot his name. Fuck.
Well, when you said Pushkar, Samarenko,
the top row guy, fucking guy from Ukraine. I'm losing my brain. Somebody will tell me in the chat. But he was beating people like that, And
yeah,
when you're going one after, first of all, for those that don't know, the Nemirov, did you ever go to that, Ryan?
No.
Yes. No. Terrace, there you go. So you got to remember, then you had to win your class, right? You win your class, then you get put in the open class. So that was a long day, long weekend. So John was beating those guys. It was more tournament based, but you had better, I'm sorry, when you had guys like fucking Travis in there, Matt Gertner, Jerry, Ron Bath, Pushkar, Dennis, Eva Quinteras, Semarenko. Fuck me, man. I mean, the list goes on, and John was in the mix of it at fucking 95 kg, whooping ass.
I'm going to answer this question, and then we got to probably shut her down. But this is an interesting question.
Yeah.
What's tougher to recover from, a tournament or a super match? And I'm going to say,
damn, I don't even know how to answer that one.
That it's a tournament, and I'll tell you why. Generally speaking, and I know there's exceptions to every rule. If you lose in a super match, you're probably losing. It's rare that we see a war back and forth. We usually see a 3-0 finish or a 4-0 finish in a 6-rounder. It's usually losing the same way or in a similar way, and you can get out of there and probably pull again soon after. In a big tournament, you are getting hit in every possible angle from a variety of arm wrestlers.
Right.
That's why I think it's going to be a tournament.
I would agree to a certain degree, only because I fall in the middle of that, because I haven't been. The last time I was super sore was a one-on-one format, but I have multiples of those one-on-one formats over a span of 2 days, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that took me a while. And here's the thing. Think about it for a second. I go to Manchester, England, right? Arm Wars, and I had so many super matches over that weekend, 2 days, right? That I was so sore I had to recover, and I didn't have any training going into, because the following month was the Monster Factor. I had no training. I was still recovering from that. That's how sore I was.
Okay.
I'm not trying to say your theory's wrong.
No. I completely, there's exceptions to everything, and the rule, it's not a hard, fast rule.
Mm-hmm.
It just isn't.
Right. It just felt like I went to a big tournament. But I tell you what, though, here's where your theory will come 127% true. Come March 2nd, 64 guys in one class. And I'm going to let that sink into y'all.
Something else I want to mention.
Yes.
Before we get off here, because I like these guys a lot, and I think I should do as much promotion of them as I possibly can.
Let's do it.
High five. Not only do they have their second event coming up,
they're promoting the hell out of it too, by the way.
They've got their tournament coming up.
Really?
Yeah. On December the 9th, they've got their event coming up where you can earn yourself a spot on the pay-per-view.
Oh, you're such a bastard.
Why do you say that?
I didn't even realize that. That's this weekend, right?
Were you gonna try to get on there?
Well, fuck, had I known that, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway. I was already locked into Washington State no matter what anyway. But still, it's like going, oh, you guys are a bunch of whores, man. And I don't mean that, literally, but damn, And they might have been promoting it for a while now, but at the same time, it's like, I can't say yes to everything, right? Yeah. I would love to, but I got bigger fish to fry. And I got nothing but I got 3 months to prepare for this one. So,
yep. Well,
history in the making.
History in the making.
Yep.
All right, buddy. I got to jump off of here and update the thumbnail. so that we're not just talking.
We have our predictions, people. So make sure you watch the pay-per-view. Grab your favorite beverage, some popcorn maybe, depending on where you are. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, let's do that indeed.
Yes, everybody, thanks for joining the show. Be sure to like and subscribe. And as always, see you when you see you. Yes.
Victor, come next week and ask that same question, and we'll give you an in-depth answer.
What was the question?
2006 John Brzenk, if his shoulder was fixed and it was the 2006 version, where would he stand today? Save that answer.
We'll make that the first question to kick off the show then.
Yep.
All right. Everybody, thanks a lot. We'll see you next week.